This is so fortuitous that we're all able to come together this evening. And I would like to introduce myself. My name is Royal Allie Barnes, and I am your executive director at CoCA. And it's my pleasure to see all of you. I can't wait until we can, as I was talking to someone today, can rub elbows and walk under ladders in real time. you know, and definitely in 2022, party in a big space, maybe still with our mask on and maybe social distancing, but real life people everywhere you look. That's going to be so amazing to do. So I want to say welcome to our 2021 members meeting. And if I can have you join me just for a silent moment for the remembrance of the land we inhabit and forgiveness of the times we have not been gracious in its use. And this is also an ongoing time to acknowledge our responsibilities as makers for those who've been impacted by any and all things that burden us individually and collectively, even as we confront and work through them. A moment of silence. Thank you so much. So here we are tonight. We're right in the midst of, of a pandemic, but we're celebrating how we come together, how we connect and we grow, and we learn humility, how we thrive and flourish. So that's a good thing. We share our talents and our skills with those we know and those we have yet to know. So we've been here since what, July 20th, 1981 formally. It's at 40 years, going on 41. And we've been stewarding contemporary art. Tonight, in the middle of a subsiding yet irreversible pandemic, we are still standing strong and resolute in the integrity of the work that we all do, that you all contextualize, that you contribute to make contemporary art landscapes here in the Pacific Northwest, and as you well know, beyond. We are 310 members strong. This is huge as we come to our hopefully last, I'm going to repeat this, hopefully last online members meeting. And if you agree with that, let's have a snap of fingers because we've got to make this our last one. So let's all do everything we can to make that happen. In fact, we're already sourcing a larger brick and mortar site for a full members meeting in 2021 as a celebration. And I had shared with staffs and board that we want to party like 2019. And they're like, no, that was pre-pandemic. Let's party like 1999. And so that's what we're going to do as we develop this fabric of our civic society. But you all have been relentless as stewards of our contemporary art, our mission and our values and our vision. We've done it through our exhibitions, through our artist talks, our publications, and we've been connecting with members and engaging in professional discourse about what it means to be an artist. What does contemporary art mean? What does it look like? What do exhibitions look like? What are our studios like? So CoCA is diverse in its members. We are anti-racist and pro-equity. We are a movement. 40 years, we are a movement. We're reliant on the brilliance of our members and our portfolio reviews and our member artist talks and our member shows. And now CoCA Store are for, by, and because of you as CoCA members. All of these combined member initiatives keep us vital to the contemporary art scene, and it keeps us public facing as well. So we are hoping with great gratitude that another R word that's going to come out will be reopen, a word that I know I want to hear and a word that you want to hear. Judith and I were talking and counting our calendars and 459 days, right, Judith?
That's right, 459 days.
459 days. March 13th, 2020 through June 15th, 2021, 459 days. That makes, quick math, 15 months since we have again been able to rub elbows or walked under ladders or sang our favorite lyrics or just said, hello, how are you doing? So CoCA right now is open to the public Thursday and Friday from hours 11 to 4. Please do be part of that public and encourage your friends to come in. And we still are requiring masks because we're not asking people if they're vaxxed, nor are we taking temperatures, and we want to keep our artists, our docents, and our staff safe. So welcome, CoCA members. We are so proud to be here with you and to work for you. Thank you so much. Now, the better part of this whole opening is hearing from our president, Eddie Reed, who conquered his mic already. Let's see if he can hold our interest as well. Eddie?
I discovered art to be an amplifier of my voice. At the Living Arts Center in Dayton, Ohio, I was an inquisitive 13-year-old kid with much on my mind. Without that experience of bearing witness at that impressionable age to the uplifting influence of the collective power art voices can have on an entire city was life-changing, to say the least. Without the precedents, I would have been left with a singular narrative: can't make money being an artist, as if that was the only purpose to living, the only affirming value of being an artist. How appropriate that the presence of all of you today have aided in reminding me of that defining moment. Today, we gather to recognize just how affirming, healing, and empowering a community of creatives can be. I believe that without profession building community arts programs such as CoCA, the Northwest artists today would be greeted with a less affirming quality of life experience, perhaps a different self-view regarding potential and self-worth. I'm truly excited to be given the opportunity to bear witness by your presence, the healing and empowering virtues of a community-centered artist experience. I cannot think of a time when the community needed for reaffirmation, especially considering how all of us have been impacted by experiencing the disruptiveness of the COVID pandemic and the too often direct assaults on personal freedoms and the right to self-expression. It's uplifting to be a member of the CoCA community. We're taking charge to deliver honest, fact-laden examples of achievements to be celebrated and liberated from the entombment of those who wish to dominate the voice of self. Sorry. There you go. Never before has this clarion call been louder for CoCA members through our art voice to take charge of the discussion of inclusion, aesthetic enlightenment, and fraternity. As your board president, I have had the pleasure to witness firsthand the breadth and impact our membership has had, not only on our region, but also on community art-based organizations throughout the Northwest. These encounters affirmed how CoCA art voice is breaking down the barrier of narratives that impede the discovery of contributions to making Northwest art relevant to the contemporary art conversation. All of you, the CoCA community, taught me to see self beyond the convenient view of labels and art sales, to see that an affirming community does more to advance artist vision and production vitality than anything else. CoCA amplified my voice, and its members, all of you, provided the rigor and direction to better train my voice to articulate, speak truth to the power on your behalf. Thank you for the honor. And on behalf of the Center of Contemporary Arts, welcome home.
Eddie, thank you so much. Center on Contemporary Art is proud to call you our Board of Director President. Should we do that once again since our mics are off? Thank you so much. And now we have Judith Rawl. We will all have to click out our timers to keep her on schedule. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And she is our Vice President. Judith?
Thank you, Royal. I am now honored to introduce to you all the 2021 CoCA Board Officers and Committee Chairs. Board members, when you hear your names, please wave your hand so our members will know who you are. The 2021 CoCA Board Officers are Eddie Reed, our esteemed president. Hi, Eddie. Bill Picard, treasurer. Nick Riesland, our board secretary. And I am your VP, as you know. Our CoCA committee chairs are as follows. Hello, Archis Gore, he chairs our tech committee. Bill Picard chairs finance. Eddie Reed is chair of our curatorial committee. Hi again, Eddie. Joelle Cazares chairs development. Thank you, Joelle. Joy Turner chairs education. Stephanie Baca de Lance chairs marketing. And I chair our governance committee. For the whole wonderful CoCA Board of Directors team, please wave your hands so everybody will know who you are. And members, if you want to know more about us, check out our beautiful website and you can learn more about all the amazing people on CoCA Board. Now, CoCA members, as per our bylaws, as you know, we need your votes to officially ratify the addition of new people to the board. Tonight, we're voting on the formal election of the 6 amazing CoCA Board members who've joined since our last members meeting. They are Bill Picard. Hi, Bill. Bill is a finance expert who is a retired entrepreneur and a C-level executive. David Harmon, who is a practicing architect and a designer of museums. Mary Gonzalo, a UX design engineer and poet. Nick Riesland. Hi, Nick. Nick is a painter and a retired physician. Song Pak, a planner, architect, and design director. Hi, Song. And Stephanie Baca de Lance, who is a designer, educator, and longtime museum professional. We are so grateful that these experts bring their brilliance to CoCA. I personally feel very lucky to work with this group of people. Everyone is an integral part of the board and our organization. CoCA artist members, now is the time to vote. Please go now to the ballot function on Zoom and vote on their election to CoCA board.
Unfortunately, as your tech chair, unfortunately, the ballot function may not work for everyone. And if that is the case, use your reaction function and just give us a thumbs up or give us a clap. And there we go. Thank you.
Got it. Archis, will you keep an eye on the count and let me know when everybody has made their response? And Archis, can you explain one more time how to ballot?
Yes, if you are on Zoom right now, on the bottom bar, you should see something called reactions. And if you click on reactions, you'll see a number of different ways that you can react. You can clap, you can thumbs up, you can heart. And so we will take any of those reactions except for the shocked face as a positive vote.
And if you're on iPad like me, if you click on the 3 dots that indicate more, then you'll see all the reactions below there. So on iPad, the more symbol is on the upper right. Polly's got it.
It appears as though the reaction disappears after a few seconds. So in order for Archis to count them, we may need to keep pressing it.
Yeah, I captured everyone's.
Good. Great work, team.
Yes.
Thank
Everyone
you.
has voted positive. I saw no shocked faces, every square on my screen.
Thank you. I think we did it. Team, please warmly, officially welcome these 6 new people to CoCA board. And let's give a little round of applause to these impactful people who joined us during the heart of the pandemic. They trusted us. They had faith in us that our organization and that our membership was strong. And so 6 amazing community champions joined us during the hardest year on record. So thank you all. Royal, back to you.
Thank you. I never left. I was still here. I had to turn that is not a child in agony, that's a cat. So do not ask me if I need to feed, caretake, change, or nurture a child. No. Okay, now, next we have for you someone who, I don't know if they have a cat or a dog, but I do know this. Jamie Walker is director of the School of Art and Art History and Design at the University of Washington. Jamie, you were appointed in 2014 as the director, and he holds the esteemed Wyckoff Milliman Endowed Chair of Art. Jamie has actually been on faculty, since 1988, 89, so he really knows that school inside and out. In 2008, you were awarded a Distinguished Faculty Award, which is fairly competitive and quite distinguished, and we are proud of you. Your work, I have been, how do you say, stalking you. Your work is featured in 24 one-person exhibitions, and as you know, numerous group exhibitions throughout the United States. If I might, CoCA members, let me introduce with great pleasure and pride, Jamie Walker, our keynote address speaker this evening. Jamie.
Thank you so much, Royal. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here. Wow. It's an honor to be part of your annual board meeting, and I listen and imagine what you guys have gone through in the last 15 months, what we've all gone through in the last 15 months. At the UW, we just finished spring quarter. Grades were due yesterday, or today, actually. So we're done, and we are really looking forward to coming back in person in the fall. And what an amazing year it's been. And when Royal asked if I'd be willing to do this, I thought, wow, that sounds really like fun. It'll be different and new, and I'll be relaxed by then. That isn't really true. Way too much going on, mostly, but again, looking forward, a lot of exciting things. What I've done is just put together some notes that I wanted to share with you, and then leave some time for some just open questions. Anything that I'm open for, whatever questions might come from the chat. So let me go ahead and get started. 30 years ago, the School of Art hired its first director of information technology, IT, as we all lovingly refer to it now. I spent this past Sunday night reading resumes of applicants to fill the chasm created by the retirement of this very same director, and marveled at how much the world has changed. In 1991, desktop computers were relatively rare. The internet was not public. None of us had laptops. And I didn't make a call on a cell phone until 1996 at the quarry in Carrara, Italy, where the marble that Michelangelo sculpted David out of was extracted some 500 years ago. Our new director of IT will oversee 3D printers that can reproduce identical copies of David, at least in form, if not in scale, and work at the renamed School of Art, Art History and Design that better reflects who we are and what we do. We are the largest public art school west of Chicago and north of Los Angeles, with 38 full-time faculty and 23 staff supporting 600 undergraduate majors and 56 graduate students who occupy 3 distinct buildings located a few miles apart from each other. We offer 6 distinct degrees: a Bachelor of Arts, a Bachelor of Design, a Master of Fine Arts, a Master of Design, and an MA and PhD in art history. We are also very likely the first institution to offer an MFA degree in the United States. Mabel Lyle DeCosse, MFA in painting in 1924. One of only a handful of schools or departments that grant undergraduate and graduate degrees in art, art history, and design, we provide a unique learning environment and collaborative opportunities for students and faculty in the midst of one of the world's leading public research universities. Our shared commonality is that we respond to the visual as the primary means of experiencing and interacting with the world we inhabit. A history of innovative teaching combined with student engagement propels students into new ways of thinking, problem solving, and risk-taking. We practice and teach design, creative thinking, and research in the arts at a time when STEAM, science, technology, engineering, math, and stick an A in there for art, is being increasingly accepted as an essential component to higher education. We are tasked with continually needing to adapt to the changing landscape of higher education in a public research university. We take pride in being independent and proactive in terms of making the most of the resources provided by the university. We actively question the status quo and have initiated significant change with curriculum, space, and funding support, all the while acknowledging that diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility continues to influence who we are and what we do. Our presence on campus is greater than ever, and we have earned the respect and support of higher administration while positioned as a key player in the revitalization of the arts on campus. I am especially pleased to share the news that the UW is investing $6 million, coupled with support from generous donors, to renovate much of the first floor of the art building, including the Jacob Lawrence Gallery. While the essence of our school's community, while the essence of what our school's community is engaged in, the creation and interpretation of art and design, has not changed appreciably in the past 30 or even 100 years, the ideas behind the work and the awareness of a broader societal context is constantly in flux. Art history. We're considering what the past has taught us and by whom requires a diligence of looking anew, whether at a Michelangelo, an anonymous pre-colonial African sculpture, or graffiti in East LA, and bring to light the inherent biases that have tainted so much previous scholarship. Design, where graduating 22-year-olds are offered positions that pay more than our long tenured faculty. Design is reconsidering the ethics of design. What is the message you are conveying? How can you use your education not to simply earn an amazing living, but to actually influence society and to become a better place for the entire planet? Art, where the joy of drawing, photography, sculpture, or harnessing technology to create a singular vision could focus on subject matter that reflects and affects the present we live in. 31 years ago, our primary mission was to support BFA students in distinct and highly isolated majors, all with the dreams of being the next Chuck Close or Barbara Earl Thomas, or a host of other successful alumni. Today, we offer a BA or BA with honors in art, which reflects our students' desire to broaden their educational opportunities by earning a double major or minor. IVA, interdisciplinary visual arts, is our largest concentration with over 200 majors, many of whom chose this track as a concentration within a liberal arts degree. While many of our students still pursue the dream of a life spent in a studio, many others recognize that art is only part of their identity. It has been gratifying to see the gradual shift in society where thinking like an artist is an advantage rather than a curse. I also want to share a few examples of how the school has been using its privileged position on behalf of social justice, equity, and diversity. In 2014, the Jacob Lawrence Gallery redefined its mission and became a space devoted to education, social justice, and experimentation that honors and respects the legacy of one of the 20th century's greatest artists, Jacob Lawrence, who taught at the school for 15 years, and I believe had a significant influence on Miss Royal Allie Barnes. Students and faculty have the opportunity to exhibit their work in the gallery, along with the artists from around the country. The Jacob Lawrence Legacy Residency features the work of a Black artist during the month of February, Black History Month. This program has benefited from the support of 2 NEA Artworks grants. The gallery is also the only institution in the state of Washington to receive WAGE, that's Working Artists in Greater Economy, WAGE certification to compensate artists fairly for their work. While this presents challenges given our very tight budget, this stance sets a strong example for our students who will soon influence the movement of capital as they enter the workforce as artists, curators, collectors, administrators, etc. During winter quarters, we sponsor the Critical Issues lecture series, which invites a diverse array of underrepresented artists to speak with and meet our students. These lectures, which pre-COVID were held at the Henry Art Museum, will remain online in the future to minimize the cost and inconvenience of travel for the artists and to allow for greater audience participation. It's an amazing series, and I hope you've had a chance to partake in some of those lectures in the past years. Like CoCA, we have an important and ever-evolving role to play in our community and in our support for art and artists. This seems especially poignant now as so many of us have reassessed what is truly important in our lives and how we want to spend our time. Thank you for your interest and engagement, and I look forward to a few minutes of conversation. Thanks.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jamie. I'm going to ask Sarah, would you pull some questions out of the chat, perhaps 3, and share those with Jamie so we can hear some responses?
There are no questions in the chat currently, but Polly, I see your hand is up. Do you have a question? You're muted.
Artist, can you unmute Polly, please?
Yes, hang on. Sorry about that.
I'm unmuted now.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, there you are.
No, I was just more interested in finding out more about the online lectures from visiting artists, but I can go to the website for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, go. I mean, so one of the amazing things that happened in this past year, I mean, resilience is what a word we've all used a lot. And, you know, thankfully, because of technology, we had more visiting artists, scholars, designers than we've ever had in history in the past year. And our faculty, likewise, were engaged around the world with talks. And so our website, the school, just go to the School of Art History and Design, and you will find links to all of our different lectures and all that. The Critical Issues series is every winter quarter, and we typically have 6 to 9 artists coming in. That's a very kind of specific targeted theme each year. But again, I think with COVID and with putting so many of our lectures online, it's just made accessibility to the wider public just much, much greater. So we're trying to figure out a way how to maintain that. And I think that that's going to be one of the things that we keep with us post-COVID.
Wonderful, thank you. Thanks.
Sure.
Anyone else here?
So we have one question in the chat. What direction do you see the University of Washington art and art history and design going over in the next 5 years?
I'm seeing a different question.
Oh, it was direct message to me.
Okay.
I don't know if that was it. by
Sorry, I got
accident,
confused.
but
Repeat it, please, then.
yes, it's what direction do you see the University of Washington art history, and design going over in the next 5 years?
You know, I think the biggest, again, we'll always have a core of students and faculty who are engaged in what I'll call, you know, studio or scholarly-based practice. But I think the notion of the impact and the importance of creative thinking is something that a lot of people suddenly are taking very, very seriously. And what creative thinking, so you may have heard of design thinking, you're all at CoCA, you've probably heard of creative thinking. And there's a real value to that that was, I think, underappreciated for a very, very long time in this country. In other countries around the world, particularly in some countries in Asia, the role that artists and their position in society has been much higher than in the United States. And I think that now what we're finding and why I think our enrollments are so strong is that students are realizing that creative thinking, kind of out the box kind of thinking, and then having the skills to either visualize that through the creative process or writing about it as historians is a really valuable skill to add to society. So what we're seeing is probably, again, from 31 years ago, where there was almost everybody wanted to be an art star. And that has really shifted. And so I don't think that's going to necessarily change. And I think that what we do, though, is that there's and I think a lot of you probably discovered this, you know, whether you spent more time in your studio or whether you spent some time in your garden, or maybe you created a little garden for the first time in your life, is that I think more people are realizing that art is really important to their soul and their fabric, whether they consider themselves artists or not.
Well, unfortunately, Jamie, we're going to have to make that our last question, unless there's absolutely a burning one. I would like you to tell us where you are talking to us from. Is that your personal studio?
It is my personal studio. I am very fortunate. When I moved back to Seattle in 1989, I was able to purchase this property with my wife and built a very small studio that I've expanded a little bit. And so in all my spare time, this is where I've made a lot of work over the past couple decades. So anyway, it's a great space. And I will say that, you know, I lost count how many different studios I had, but the first studio I had when I got out of school was in a garage over in the U District. I had finished my credits in art and I panicked because I didn't have any place to work. And one of my faculty members, some of you might know who Robert Sperry was. And he said, "Where do you live?" I told him I rented a house with a bunch of people. And he said, "Well, let me look at it. Do you have a garage?" And we got in his car, drove over to my house. He looked at the garage. There was standing water on the floor. He goes, "Just put pallets down. Don't worry about it. There's mold, you know, Seattle mold on the walls. Don't worry about it. Just cover it up with paper and draw." And then he said, you know, and for a kiln, because I do ceramics, he said, "You've got an oven upstairs, just drill a hole through the floor, put an extension cord through and plug in your kiln." That was my first studio. That was the first of many studios. But I think that the point of that was that anything is possible if you need to do it. And I just need that little bit of support from somebody. And again, the important thing was it wasn't what it looked like. It was just get in there and find a place to work. So thank you, Royal.
Thank you so
Always
much.
a pleasure.
Thank you for being here this
All right.
evening.
Good luck with everybody. I look forward to seeing you in person, either on campus or at the CoCA Gallery. And as we all know, it's way better to see work in person than online. All right.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Jamie, thank you so much.
Sure. Bye-bye. Have a good meeting.
Thank you. You know, we all know the story. We've all lived parts of the story that Jamie was sharing with us about then, now, why, how, and who in building our own efficacy of our studios and our practice. And so just a big congratulations to all of our CoCA members for sustaining, because that's been a huge part of how we've gotten arts and how we've created differences in the landscape that is contemporary art here in the Pacific Northwest and beyond. As we work through CoCA and we think about how it runs, I want to introduce you to the senior staff, to Alexis Chapman, Nagara Kadumu, and Sarah Huckabee, who make your CoCA membership lives and CoCA vital and robust. We're going to start with Alexis. Are you here with us? I see you.
I am here. Thank you, Royal. Yes, so I'm Alexis Chapman, and I'm currently the CoCA Administrative and Grants Strategist, which some of you might be thinking, what does that even mean? And while certainly my work includes working with grants and administrative work and strategizing in all of its various forms, it really boils down to communications, both internally and externally, from newsletters to social media platforms to press releases, our website, and just documenting all of our best practices and organization and so much more and everything in between. All of which is vital to the way in which we engage with and support the flourishing contemporary arts community in Seattle, all of you. My journey with CoCA started in May of 2020 on the heels of receiving my master's in critical studies or critical theory, specifically focusing on the potential of art institutions as sites for social change and its roles of art institutions in civic societies. And the ways in which we can cultivate social consciousness through immersive arts engagement and narrative or counter-narrative construction to the dominant narratives that often fill our art institutions, which is a very wordy way of saying, how do we experience art and engage with it? And how do we transform that 2D experience or digital experience into something that's really immersive and life-changing? And for me, I truly believe that a socially conscious approach to the ways that we communicate and engage in all of these formats are how arts institutions can really have pro-equity and allyship ingrained in every aspect from start to finish, so that it's not just a performative statement of pro-equity or land acknowledgement, but it's actual movement towards undermining or countering those dominant narratives that live within many of our art institutions, because that's how they were founded. And so I look forward to continuing to do this work on all the levels within CoCA moving forward. I'm coming up on my 6-month anniversary in about 3 days in this role. Prior to that, I was the marketing and communications intern. So definitely kept a lot of that work as we move forward as well. But I look forward to being able to see all of you in person in the next year, since I came on before or after even our last opening. So I have yet to really meet any of you, but hopefully soon as things start to open up. I'm gonna sign off. Unless, Royal, I think you're muted.
And this is a big part of Alexis' job, is indicating when I'm not functioning well. So it takes up a lot of her time. But when it's not, I really want us to acknowledge the fact that Alexis brings a level of brilliance and new generational thinking to CoCA that we all need to feel and that we all need to embrace. So Alexis, thank you so very much. Sarah, or actually I think Nagara, if you would take a moment and introduce yourself and share with us who you are and how you are.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you are well. For those of you who don't already know me, my name is Nagara Kadumu. I am the curator here at CoCA, newly or somewhat newly appointed as of February of this year. Previous to being at CoCA, I was the manager of public programs at the Frye Art Museum, where I was there for 6.5 years. I also have my own business, which I have been running since 2017. I came to CoCA hopeful, and so far I have been able to really sort of think and see what CoCA's history has been, and look at the different ways in which I can contribute to CoCA being a prominent feature on an ongoing basis here in Seattle. My first project was mounted on May 6th, an exhibition by an artist named Selma Waldman, which I'm sure you have heard of because Selma's work was in the very first show of 2021, curated by the outgoing curator, Nat Thornton. That was a really amazing experience working with Reiner Waldman, the son of Selma Waldman, also the executor of the estate, to really look through just what is a voluminous and prolific amount of work, but also qualitatively, quite frankly, some of the best work that I have had the opportunity to see since I have been working in the art world. And so that show went up on May 6th, and it will be open through June 26th for those of you who are in the Seattle area. Our galleries are open Thursday through Saturday. Thursday and Friday, we have open hours between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. And on Saturday, we have hours by appointment only. So I do urge you to please come see that show if you are able before it closes. In July, we are looking forward to a solo exhibition by Seattle-based artist Megan Trainor, Let Us Not Confuse Zero with the Stillness of Electrons. And subsequent to that, another solo show by artist Raja Garbi, also based here in Seattle. Last and certainly not least, we have the annual members show, which I'm very much looking forward to reviewing the applications that I have received to come up with, I am sure will be an amazing, thematic, relevant to our current moment exhibition, showing just the amazing breadth of work and ideas that you all have been focusing on in the past 18 months. And by that time, in the past almost 24 months. And so I say all of that to say, that was my alarm to let me know that I was talking too much. I say all that to say, it is a pleasure to be the curator here at CoCA. Thank you so much for all that you do and your contributions to the organization. And I look forward to the opportunity to meet as many of you as possible in the coming months as we can hopefully continue to safely reopen.
I'm muting because my cat is trying to talk and sounds like a child who hasn't been fed in 3 days. Bad optics, right? But Nagar, thank you so very much for the intensity in which you hit the ground running at CoCA. We so appreciate it. And the respect that you have for members is duly noted and appreciated as well. Sarah, yes, with that, we'll see, do we have envy about that ponytail? I think we do. Really, the thing to hear about Sarah is what she's going to share with us. Sarah?
Yes. So hello, everybody, and hello, members. I am Sarah Huckabee, and I am the Development and Membership Strategist at CoCA. I'm so thrilled to have this opportunity to speak with you virtually. I've been so fortunate to meet a few of you in my time with CoCA, and it's always a pleasure. I mean, wow, all of you are so great. Our development team is so grateful to you for your ongoing support, which has allowed CoCA to come out of this year as a flourishing and thriving contemporary arts organization. We truly appreciate all of you, need you, and really couldn't do any of this without you, so thank you. So now I'm going to give a brief overview of our membership and development for the year. You, our members and member artists, are at the heart of what we do, and so we have made several prudent choices to ensure you get the most out of your CoCA experience. And that starts with your membership benefits. We have been mindful and thoughtful in the process of updating those benefits. Our new membership structure creates further distinction between member levels while also maximizing your artist and art lover opportunities. We've added several new and amended benefits, including an art supplies raffle for student members, access to one portfolio review for all members at the artist level and above, discounted VIP marathon and auction tickets, and exclusive access to roundtable events for everyone at the professional artist level and above, and a silent auction preview and executive director coffee hour for patron members. So if you haven't already, I really encourage you to go see your new benefits. They're reflected on the members page on our website. Your interests are a priority focus of our development best practices. In our most recent development campaign, Give Big for CoCA Artists, we emphasized giving necessary improvements for lighting and mobility in the gallery to appropriately showcase exhibitions and enhance the gallery for public gatherings. I'm happy to report that that campaign's success will definitely fund several critical items later in the year. We are certain that the same energy, momentum, and success from Give Big will be mirrored in our next fundraising campaign, the 2021 Marathon. That's right, the marathon and auction is back. Our auction will be streamed virtually like last year, and so will the marathon. So we are so excited about this because while we want our marathon again, we still want our artists to have an enjoyable and safe experience. The main event takes place on Saturday, September 18th, so mark your calendars. It's going to be an absolute blast, and we really look forward to seeing all of you at this extraordinary event. Keep your eyes on your email over the next couple of months. I'll be sending out reminders for the marathon, as well as reminders to redeem your membership offers for the marathon. So now that I've gotten all of that out of the way, it's time for the raffle. This is a closed raffle, so it's only open to the attendees that are on this Zoom call right now. I was originally going to use a random generator from the internet to do this, but honestly, raffles just feel more exciting when you're pulling paper shreds out of a hat or a basket. I don't have a hat, so I'm going to pull them out of this basket. So here we go. I'm mixing up the names. I'm not looking. Okay. And we've got Leslie Ebert, and you're the raffle winner. You see your name. And congratulations, you're the recipient of a $50 gift card to the award-winning Capitol Hill restaurant, New Seattle. Believe me, their food is so delicious, and I'm so excited for you. Honestly, quite jealous. So please, after this members meeting, just contact me via email so we can get your prize to you. And I'll be adding my email into the chat so you can find it. So now I'll pass this over to Royal and our amazing principal volunteers. Thank you.
means that neither I nor board members were in the raffle. This is, we'll talk later. Okay, next year, we'll hope, right, board? Yeah, we'll hope. But you know, we talk about our keynote speakers, we talk about our members, and one thing that we don't talk enough about is that CoCA runs on volunteers, where it comes from the heart for the purpose for all. And that might sound a dumb little limerick, but it's so true. And here at CoCA, our history of volunteerism could fill a book literally. Tonight, you're getting a taste of what we call our principal volunteers. And these are three amazing human beings, also CoCA members, extremely accomplished artists who care and who are passionate about CoCA and about you. I'm talking about Carol Ladmanson, Ray Freeman, and Grace Ann Cummings, whose comments will be shared by Joelle. So I'd like to have Carol come forward. Where are you, Carol? There you are. And first of all, before they even say a word, can we quote, give them a standing ovation because their volunteerism is just absolutely phenomenal. Thank you. Carol?
Thank you. Thank you for that very gracious introduction, Royal. So I am now officially the volunteer artist connector. And throughout most of quarantine, since late 2020, about 70 people, 70 CoCA artists have participated in our pilot discussion group, CoCA 15 plus 15 plus. The name refers to 15 minutes or more of connecting with peer artists. And continuing from our successful pilot, we're hosting small Zoom conversations. Yes, these are actual Zoom meetings you want to go to of CoCA artists. And it helps us all to create new connections amongst members that we don't already know. Conversations have been fairly free form and often include artists' inspirations, philosophies, and process. Also, each participant will get information to provide 1 to 2 examples of their current work to help liven up the discussion. To keep the conversations meaningful in a short time frame and to provide artists an opportunity to share, each discussion group will be limited to 5 participants. Starting in July, interested artists will sign up monthly and there will be 9 sign-up slots. From those 9 names, we will randomly select 5 names and the remaining 4 will be rotated into the next month's sign-up list. We meet in the early evenings of the 3rd Thursday of each month, except for Thanksgiving. And conversations last about 45 minutes and sessions are never recorded. I have done my very best to moderate these discussions to create a robust and highly participatory environment that encourages authentic representation and inclusivity of ideas. I really hope you will all join us for the next CoCA 15 plus 15 plus. Thank you.
Carol, thank you so much for your leadership on really a very complex situation where you're asking people who don't know each other to engage in intimate conversations about how they feel about being a maker. And you've done an exceptional job. And in comments from participants as well as those people anticipating. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We also have a principal volunteer position that is CoCA publishing agent. And Ray Freeman is that amazing brilliance who has been shining his light on CoCA for a significant period of time in many roles. And the fact that you would come to us again, yet again, with all of our changes, hopes and dreams, and provide this brilliance is just amazing to us. Mr. Freeman, if you will take a moment and share what it is that you do here as a volunteer.
Sure. Hi, I'm Ray. I'm the one with the tab. Look, yeah, I've been around here for about around this place for about 15 years. I've done everything. I've been president, I've been treasurer, I've been a curator, I've been publisher, and that probably leaves a bartender, you know, whatever. I am focusing on publications as a very wide swath. I think of that word as encompassing the various materials that we put out into the world. I hesitate these days to call what I do for the individual shows catalogs, because to me, that's, the things that were in the show put into a book. I hope that in the last 12 years since I've been doing these publications for CoCA, I have come to think of them as much more than a catalog and more as another venue. It's another venue, very much like the gallery itself. The publication is a venue that we can use to accomplish CoCA's mission, particularly in the area of art literacy, where people can come to the gallery and see the art. When they pick up a publication, they get to find out more about it. They get to read the backstories, the information about how the show came together, what the intent of it was, a lot more than we could ever put on the walls of the gallery and try to explain to people in a short visit that they might come by. So to me, that has become the role of publications. It's been bigger than just documenting what the show is, but expanding it in a way that helps with the understanding portion of that specific word from CoCA's mission statement. To that end, I'm going to speed up here. To that end, we've opened the bookstore in order that we have our own place to sell our books rather than going to a third party to do that. So we now have the bookstore open. The next move there is going to be to expand what the bookstore does. We're actually calling it the CoCA Museum Store for a reason. It's because it's going to go beyond books to the next phase. It's going to be called CoCA Editions. And CoCA Editions will be work by CoCA members that are done in multiples. So if you are a print artist, a jewelry maker, a sculptor who does casting, things of that order, we will have a place for you to sell your work through the CoCA Museum Store. It'll be exclusively available to CoCA members. So that's you will be able to find that starting tomorrow on the CoCA website. At the very end of the menu there, where you see the CoCA store and the bookstore and the CoCA book club, which I'm also doing, there will be CoCA Editions. This will be telling artists what CoCA Editions are all about. There'll be a preview of how it works, a prototypical contract so you can feel comfortable working with CoCA, knowing what the terms are going to be and what will be required of you to submit. Soon after that, within the next week or so, we'll actually open up for submissions. I'm putting the final touches on those forms. So I've used up my time. Join me for the CoCA Book Club on the 30th of this month at 8 o'clock, where we're going to talk about Unsanctioned with the curators, Jody Nelson and Michelle Osgood from that show.
Ray, thank you so very much. One of the things I want to mention is that when we're talking about financial parity, you also heard Jamie talk about that and also about the wage legislation. But for CoCA, that financial parity is in everything that we do regarding our members. And in the CoCA store, there will be a 70% return of sales to participating artists, because this is what we need to do in order to have fair and equitable parity financially for the organization as well as for our members. So Ray, thank you so much for bringing that forward. Grace Ann Cummings has one of the most complicated titles of a principal volunteer. She is our volunteer coordinator. And this literally means that it's her job to corral everyone who wants to volunteer in whatever capacity for CoCA and work with curators, senior staff, board members, and other volunteers to allow our artists and our public in general to have that experience in the arts that they're looking for, from half an hour to 3 months to a year. So very, very important. Unfortunately, Grace Ann is not able to be with us this evening, but she did provide us with a personal statement in view of her role as volunteer coordinator, and left that trusting to Joelle. Joelle, are you here with us?
Here.
Would you be kind enough to share Grace Ann's statement?
Absolutely. It is my honor to read Grace Ann's personal statement, which is very aptly titled, The Art of Volunteering. What is a volunteer? I like to think of the act of volunteering like the famous quote from Shakespeare. to be or not to be. Except that existence is not a debate for me. I did not create my lifetime, my parents did. So it is their credit that I am even here. I don't get to keep my lifetime because I am mortal. The question is not existence. The question is to care or not to care. Because I am mortal, I don't have to care about anything, not even my lifetime, because it is all going to be taken away and I didn't start it. So if I care, how do I care? How much? To me, the art of caring is free will. Like the caring that Van Gogh exhibited with his painting efforts. He cared deeply about his art, but was never able to make a living as an artist. Now, people all over the world enjoy his art and his paintings are worth millions. Or Beethoven, who wrote his greatest masterpieces while deaf, transforming his personal loss, depression, doubt, and suffering into the tenacity of willpower and trust, culminating in his celebration of the human spirit in his Ninth Symphony. Or the parent who gives from their own body and not only volunteers to create another human, but pays for that person's existence until that person can take care of themselves. Volunteering is caring, an act of investment. Volunteering is also a risk because its comparison is the option to not care, which is truthful and honest. Mortality entitles us to not care because we will lose everything we are given. To not care will never be evil, nor selfish, nor wrong. It simply is an option. Volunteering is extra. Volunteering is more than what was, more that can be, and the most that is possible, even if it endures for only 5 minutes of time. Volunteering is the most you can give because it is pure, free will. Volunteering is the option to choose to care when you don't have to. I want to thank everyone here for your volunteer time to CoCA in the past, for your perseverance and endurance to keep this artistic community that is CoCA alive and well for 40 years. I want to thank you for your investments of time, passion, dedication, faith, belief in value, and risk. It is always a risk to care. So I also thank you for your courage. I have been volunteering at CoCA since 2004. How much more will I give? Time will tell. But my plan is to stick around and enjoy time with my fellow volunteers. You inspire me with your extra. Thank you.
Wow. I think we have the contents for many books on what really creates human flourishing. And so much of that is what you all do as CoCA members, and definitely what our principal volunteers do, and the roles that they allow us to observe them in on a daily basis. So if we can have a standing applause for CoCA 2021 volunteers, our principal volunteers, Carol Adamson, Ray Freeman, and Grace Ann Cummings. Thank you all so very much. Judith,
Yes.
we have another time clock out for you. As long as you adhere to it, we will play with you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Royal. Thank you so much, Joelle. And a special thanks to our 3 principal volunteers for contributing their brilliance to the CoCA community. We could not do this without you, and I personally am honored to work with you all. Now we come to a brand new opportunity at our organization. This is called the CoCA Community Champion Award. This is how we acknowledge a special CoCA member whose work on behalf of the art community demonstrates how we all can give more, how we all can be more present, and how we can all be even more generous with our time and energy. The inaugural CoCA Community Champion Award acknowledges this individual's unselfish dedication and impactful engagement on behalf of the arts community. Artists, please roll the video.
There are lots of clues that this woodsy-looking craftsman and its detached studios are anything but ordinary. Take this herd of horses galloping through the front yard. Or the gnome garden party. I think everybody owns a headless statue. The only thing that does make sense in this land of coffee is this giant coffee cup. I'll have a half caffy cap with whip, please. What would you call all this?
It's very eccentric, I'd say, or kitschy.
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 Good word usage.
Kitschy chick.
Well, let's go meet this kitschy chick, Kelly, the resident artist. You know, I wish you would have dressed up and worn some colorful clothes for us.
Well, the funny thing is, this is my, I'm out in the studio painting clothes. You should see me when I get dressed up.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
You know what's funny? Seriously,
serious.
this is true. I had the same outfit on today.
Yeah.
But I changed it to last because it made my butt look huge.
Well, it is a man's, it was a man's, but I shrank it.
So this is like normal house as far as you're concerned.
Very much so. I'm pretty traditional in my taste.
I think that's obvious.
Other than artwork.
Apparently, Kelly's friends like to encourage her artistic tendencies.
People bring me all these things. A friend of mine brought over 2 large bags saying, you needed these hubcaps. I was like, I do? And I wasn't quite sure what to do with them for a while. And the gnomes were gifts. The horses, I bought one of those horses, and then the rest have started appearing.
Wow, what thoughtful friends. Dropping junk off at her house. They must get a real kick out of her. What's with the ginormous coffee cup?
I had mentioned to a couple friends that I wanted some big sculptures as a way to avoid yard work. And the same day, I had 2 giant sculptures show up within half an hour of each other, and then have never gotten one before or since. It was just kind of odd.
Oh, I think there's more than a few things that are kind of odd around here.
Yeah.
Don't you wonder what those coffee-crazed Seattleites think of Kelly's eclectic collection? I can see the rocking horses from here.
That was a little weird when I first moved in. I kind of thought, well, that's kind of different, rocking horses in the front yard.
Well, do you think that the outside of our house looks normal?
It does to me.
How many hubcaps do you have on your house?
Never mind.
If I said, I'll give you $1,000 to take that house.
Only 1,000?
Okay, ponies, gnomes, and hubcaps on the outside. So what's on the inside?
Royal, would you share the proclamation with everyone here tonight?
Well, it's obvious that there's a very special person who's with us this evening, and this proclamation is for you. This is the inaugural 2021 CoCA Community Champion Award. We at CoCA award this to you, whereas CoCA celebrates and embraces its art mission, vision, and values as a vital steward and presenter of contemporary art in the Pacific Northwest and beyond. And Kelly, whereas CoCA's commitment and reach to our member artist community is integral to our long-standing success. And Kelly, whereas CoCA has a long history of working professionally and creatively with its member artists. And Kelly, whereas CoCA is a hub of pro-equity, community capacity building activities, and Kelly Lyles, whereas peer relationship building is a difficult yet important component of long-term impactful artistic support, distinguished artist Kelly Lyles, whereas community building with generosity, authentic purpose, and high inclusivity is paramount to sustaining CoCA and its member artists. And Ms. Lyles, whereas the 2021 CoCA Community Champion Award recipient is a talented artist who has excelled in creating and cultivating a shared artistic community among CoCA member artists and beyond. Now, therefore, Kelly Lyles, the CoCA Executive Director and the CoCA Board of Directors concurring, hereby present the inaugural 2021 CoCA Community Champion Award to you, distinguished artist, distinguished community capacity builder, distinguished human being, Kelly Lyles.
Kelly Lyles, you wonderful person. You are the highly deserving 2021 inaugural CoCA Community Champion. Kelly, I want to personally thank you for your amazing dedication to relationship building and flourishing for our art community. Would you please take a moment to greet the members and say a few words?
Hi guys, I'm really touched and I'm giggling over here. I thought, oh, I'll write some little speech, but I have 3 days to make it to do a mural. And I was actually painting in this outfit earlier today. I threw the hat on, but I've been out in my studio painting. But I'm just really touched. And my motto in life is give a little and you get a lot, because I think, you know, you guys can talk about it being volunteerism and everything, but no, I'm getting into the parties free. You know, I'm getting to procrastinate in the best possible way. I'm having fun while avoiding the studio, while avoiding work, you know, because I love community, and the world goes just goes a whole lot smoother with community. There's always somebody that can help you out. If you help them, you're going to get it back tenfold. It's like a chain letter, you know, you're going to get back the 30 if you just put in the 1. So I'm really touched. I've been a member, CoCA member, since I think 94 or 96. I think I won one of my first art awards in a CoCA show curated by Greg Escalante, and Robert Williams was in the show, and it was a big hero. Did you guys ever hear the story about being chased around the mini putt-putt by the crazy killer guy, or the guy threatening to kill me in the CoCA mini golf course?
Would you share that with us?
That's one of my main CoCA memories. It was back in the original spot, I think next to the Lusty Lady. That was a good, and you guys had an artist design mini golf course with all these different artists, you know, had designed these. And it was a guy passed out in the AstroTurf chair that we just kind of ignored. Oh, I was a big brother, big sister, and I had my little sister with me. And every time we went out, something bizarre happened. And I'm just shocked her mother kept letting me take custody of this kid, because so this time the guy, the drunk or whatever he was high on or mentally ill, got out of his AstroTurf chair and came over to us and was making all kinds of sexual gestures and, you know, very inappropriate. And I was with 2 teenagers. So I said, you know, please just let us play our little game of golf and back off. So then he said, I'm going to kill you. And he picked up a tool and started. So we're all running in and out of the golf courses. And he was a little guy, so I wasn't sure whether to be scared or to laugh, because it was just such a bizarre scenario. But he batted my my golf club out of my hand with the screwdriver or whatever. So anyways, it was like a little comedy as we're all running through the golf course. And then I ran to the front desk and finally alerted the CoCA person in the other room, and she went to call the cops. So then he went after her, and, oh, now I'll kill you instead. So we all ran outside to the antique shop and tried to call the cops. And my little sister got on the phone and she said, there's a maniac trying to kill us in the putt-putt. But that was just a very bizarre CoCA memory from the 90s. But I've been with you guys through Pioneer Square, through Belltown. Let's see, where else was it? Ballard. I'm missing a couple in between, but Capitol Hill. But each time it's always on its last leg and then it rises again. And I think this time it's come back, you know, Phoenix from the ashes. It seems like it's redoubled, and just delighted to be a part of it. Thank you guys.
And that redoubling and that Phoenix from the ashes that you're talking about, Kelly, is because of the heartfelt contributions that you've made over time. And Judith, what are we looking at?
What you are all seeing right now is Kelly's award. That is the Kelly Lyles 2021 CoCA Community Champion Award.
Cool.
Up on screen right now.
I have it ready to ship out to you this week.
Very cool. Thank you guys.
Congratulations.
You're welcome. You deserve it.
Yeah. Well, I'm really touched, you know, flattered and touched and delighted to be in such good company. So thank you. And come over and see my house. There's a whole lot more stuff in it now than there was back then.
We're coming.
Yeah. I love giving house tours. I give them every week.
Well, the challenge in finding a video about you, Kelly, is finding one that's small enough, short enough.
Well, I like that one because I was 20 pounds skinnier.
Well, it was so flourishing, so welcoming. Thank you again for everything that you've done.
And I'm really jealous of that outfit, by the way, Royal.
You know what? I think we need to do some closet sharing.
Hell yes.
Okay.
Hell yes.
I'm up for that.
You'll be shocked at how tiny mine is.
Oh, it's not the size of your closet, it's what you have in it.
That's what, no, it's all on 5-tiered hangers. It's like a Mary Poppins bag. But
very good. We'll have to continue this offline to stay on schedule. Again, Kelly, thank you so much for everything that you do. We really appreciate you. And now we're going to kind of change up some. And I was told that I am the least likely person to introduce an Afro punk rock-ish person who's an international lyricist, who is currently writing songs here in Seattle, who speaks fluent German and other languages, and who actually plays drum and bass guitar. So the challenge is she's in Shreveport, I think, Louisiana. So we're hoping that you're with us physically. Arches, has she tagged in? That answer must be no, but we do have, and then she is going to perform a solo piece for us, a live piece for us as well. But we can pop off with part of that party piece. And here is Afro Punk. If you can keep up, turn it loud, and let's all do either desk dancing, couch dancing, desk dancing, or however we decide to get our party on. Can you roll that for us?
Oh my God. Here he comes. What does he want? What's that you say? Annoying. Oh God.
You walk into the club like you're some kind of music police, and tell me all the stories of the bands that you already seen. You say you don't like metal, don't like blues, and you don't like hip-hop. I tell you what, don't give a fuck, I only like the sound of it rocks. When it rocks in my brain, when it rocks in my house, when it rocks in my soul, when it rocks in my mouth. Well, I need drums, drums, bass, and guitar. I need drums, drums, bass, and guitar. You're questioning contestant me, we're in a musical game show to see if I know all the bands that you think I should know. You said, so tell me, girl, what's the music playing in your stereo car? I said, whatever it is, I know it's got lots of drum and bass and guitar. Cause that's just how I am. It comes straight from my heart. That's what my mama taught me. You need 3 parts. I need drums, drums, bass, and guitar. I need the drums, drums, bass, and guitar. I need 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 drums, bass, and guitar. Here we go. Just don't. You can't suck my. And now you wanna know what is the sound of a brand new band. And then you tell me that we play the kind of music that you really can't stand. Well, it's only rock and roll, and I know that punk's your main thing. But with tolerance like yours, I can say you sounded mighty right. Wait, I need the drums. Drum, bass, and guitar. I need the drums, 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 bass, and guitar. I need 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 drums.
Jahari, Seattleite, and she just texted me, technology, there is a storm here and it has knocked out my internet. Do not share this text with the entire group because I am embarrassed. It has wiped out my jetpack internet. I'm off the grid. Should have thought better. Well, the good news is that her music is much better than her tech planning. So let's give her a round of applause anyways. And perhaps we can bring her into marathon. But that was Jahari. And as you can see, we did not curate the lyrics in any manner whatsoever. So hopefully no puppies or kittens were harmed by the exposure to the lyrics. But did send us a playlist, and we're gonna open the chat, and we're going to open all of the mics, however it is that you all can connect with each other for the last 10 minutes of this piece. As again, we're not rubbing shoulders and we're not walking under ladders, but we're gonna do the best we can to connect. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your CoCA membership, and thank you for everything that you do as artists to create this civic society that we all love so very much. Arches, turn it over. And again, congratulations to our
headbanger.
Where are those glasses that, how do I get those on?
Give me some new shit. Give me some new shit. Mississippi putting it down. I'm the hottest round. I told y'all mother, y'all can't stop me now. Listen to me now. I'm lasting 20 rounds. And if you want me, then come on get me now. Is you with me now? Then biggie bounce. I know you dig the way I switch my style. Holla, holla. People sing around, now people gather round, now people jump around. Get your freak on, 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 get your freak on. Is that your chick? People you don't know, me and Timberland been high since 20 years ago. What the dealio? Now what the drillio? If you wanna battle me, then let me know. Got the feeling, son. Let me throw you some. People, here I come. Now sweat me when I'm done. We got the radio shook like we got a gun. Get your freak on. 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 Hush your mouth, silence when I spit it out. In your face, open your mouth, give you a taste. Hello, ain't no stopping me. Copywritten, so don't copy me. Y'all do it sloppily, and y'all can't come close to me. I know you feel me now, I know you hear me loud. I scream it loud and proud, Missy gon' blow it down. People gon' play me now, in and out of town, cause I'm the best around, with the crazy style. Get your freak on, 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 get your freak on,
2021 virtual CoCA meeting. Good night, Joan. Aha, that hat belongs in Kelly's closet because she and I are going to share, and I have the gloves.
1, 2, 3, 4.
From all of our CoCA board of directors and our principal volunteers and our senior staff, good night. Thank you so very much. Good night. See you live very soon.